Shady, as I was watching that game and I really had to digest it, I said to myself, this got to be the beginning of the end for Dak. It has to be. Like, when you watch that game, you can no longer say to yourself, he's a Super Bowl winning quarterback. But Jerry Jones still thinks so. Shady, is this the beginning of the end for Dak and Dallas?
Jerry be like, yo, you ever date a girl that got kids, right? And the kid be bad as hell, and the girl don't want to say he bad. I'm thinking like, girl, like he is such a good kid. Like, what? He's a little devil, ain't he?
He just need a father figure.
Oh, my God. I feel like Jerry, that's who Jerry is. Like, yo, this dude can go out there and throw picks after picks after picks. He can lose games. And every interview he's going to say, he's our guy. We're going to go as far as he can take us. Like what? What are we talking about? What are you watching? Anyway.
Beginning of the end.
Yeah. I'm going to say no. I wanted to say yes, but then hear him say that, it's like, no matter what Dak does, he'll always get a pass. He'll always get an excuse. Think about it. They go out there and they get some more weapons for the brother. Get a really good wide receiver in Brandon Cooks. They don't even utilize him at all, right? Then okay, you know what? We're gonna blame it on the coordinator. We're gonna out there have the head coach Mike McCarthy call the plays. It's like he's calling a conservative offense and you still throwing picks, and you still won't give him the blame he deserves. So when you ask me this question, I want to say yes. I'm gonna say no because it don't matter. At the end of the day, Jerry Jones has his guys. And Dak Prescott is one of his guys. He's going to be around forever.
Is Dak one of his guys, 2-5, or is there not a better option because Dak is top 10 or top 12 or top 15? So for there to be a better option, there's only maybe 9, 10, 11 quarterbacks better?
You say that, right, because of his resume, which he has a solid resume. So does Kirk Cousins. But anyway, when you look at the Cowboys offense, and I say, okay, what's the biggest weakness? We heard Fred Warner, right? And he didn't say it, but he said around the lines of, well, you know, they've been trying to be conservative. They get Tony Pollard going, but other than that, I mean, they're a conservative offense passing-wise. Why is that? Whose fault is that? Because a dude like Brock Purdy, he hasn't been playing this game long. They don't have a conservative offense for him. As much as Jalen Hurts gets criticized for this, criticized for that, the way he throws, the way they play, we don't have a conservative offense for him. He gonna chuck that thing downfield. When I watch the Cowboys offense, it reminds me of the Jets. Reminds me of teams with struggling quarterbacks. Let's minimize the mistakes. Let's minimize the chance to throw turnovers. So that's my thing is like, for you to be paying, and then another thing, man, you paid him $100-something million.
160.
$160 million to be a conservative quarterback? Think about it for a second. Come on.
A lot of them getting paid to do that now.
So my thing is this, at the end of the day, when you ask me, like, will it ever matter? And I'm gonna say no, because Jerry Jones has his guys.
I got a question for you before I answer this question.
Yes, sir.
You did a really good job up there, like Acho said, with the producers, ceilings and, you know, all that. What do you think Dak's ceiling is from his career and watching him play? Because I think a lot of that, like what Jerry's talking about, is he's seen Dak play at a high level, MVP vote and all that. So I think he might be going off of something. So what do you think Dak's ceiling is? Because when you hear Jerry say Super Bowl.
Dak's ceiling.
Oh, you hit your head. Oh. Don't move too high. You might hit. That shit ain't that high. We crazy.
The simplest way to say it, Dak's ceiling, in my mind, is not Super Bowl. And why I say that is I do not see Dak Prescott being able to do what Nick Foles did in the Super Bowl. Nick Foles, he outdueled Tom Brady. Even though Tom Brady had more passing yards, think about the potency of Nick Foles' performance. I don't see Dak Prescott being able to do what Joe Flacco did en route to beating the Super Bowl, where he beat Peyton Manning, where I believe he beat Tom Brady, where he beat Andrew Luck, where he threw 11 touchdowns and no interceptions. I don't see Dak Prescott being able to do what Eli Manning did en route to his 2 Super Bowls, when I believe he had like a 12-to-1 touchdown to interception ratio. Dak Prescott is good. The dilemma is he's never better than the opposing quarterback when you need him to be. Think about Dak Prescott, how good he was in 2016 playoffs versus the Packers. He was good. But was he better than Aaron Rodgers? He wasn't. That's why they lost. Think about Dak Prescott versus the 49ers. He wasn't bad. Well, Brock Purdy wasn't great, but Dak was worse. So Dak Prescott has only ever outplayed Tom Brady in Tom Brady's retirement year, and you could surmise he outplayed maybe Russell Wilson, maybe Jared Goff, if Jared Goff started that playoff game. He's just never better than the opposing QB. That's why his ceiling to me isn't Super Bowl.
I like it. My answer is no, strictly because I think that's what they're going off of. With their eyes, what they've seen with Dak being a winner in the regular season, for seeing games like Dak Prescott has played in the playoffs when he beat Tom Brady on the road. Really good game that Dak Prescott played, beat Tom Brady. Obviously, he went to the Niners, and that ended up there. But I think it's just like, even me sitting up here saying, you know, hey, Dak, that dude, right? I think it's been moments that he's shown that he's that dude, right? And I think that's what Jerry is holding on to. On top of who we going to get. You got what I'm saying? Like, what's the backup plan? Like, is the backup plan Trey Lance? Is the backup plan to go out there and draft a guy and try to develop this young fella? Is the backup plan to try to go out here in free agency and get one of these quarterbacks? Who out there in free agency? Kirk Cousins? Right? He ain't better than Dak, and some people may have him up there better than Dak, but it's like that. You know what I'm saying? So where are we going? So from that standpoint, I think with Dak's ceiling, we've seen him play so well.
Yeah.
I mean, to get an MVP vote, you got to be playing at a high level. To kick Tony Romo out of the building and help him get to the booth, Dak had to be playing at a high level. So I think his ceiling from seeing him play good football, I think that's where Jerry Jones is holding on to where he feels like Dak Prescott could get them back to a Super Bowl. And if you have your owner saying that, you ain't going nowhere, at least not no time soon.
Back to a Super Bowl. They haven't been to a conference championship game.
I feel you, but Jerry's saying he feel like he can get up to the Super Bowl.
I mean, we all feel a lot of
You know?
things. Feeling and reality are two different things. And you want to talk about someone like Tony Romo. Tony Romo and Dak Prescott do not have dissimilar careers.
Very similar.
I love Tony.
I know. I like.
They're 0-3 in the divisional round.
Can't touch Tony.
2-4 in the postseason. He has the most passing yards in franchise history. Dak has the third most. Dak has a better career passer rating. Same amount of division titles. Romo has 2 more Pro Bowls. There you go.
Yeah, I just want to check it out.
And Tony Romo, you would think that he was,
Tony.
yeah,
I like
see,
Tony.
I know you. You
Yeah,
like
but Tony, I mean, he had to carry the team. Where Dak ain't carrying no team.
I'm not comparing them identically as far as talent goes. I'm saying that the results were basically the same. Yeah. And because of that, they love Tony, and they were able to move on to Dak, and Dak played at a high enough level to replace Tony because Tony never really actually got them where they wanted to go. The only way they're replacing Dak is if another Dak comes along, because they're never going to be good enough to be high enough in the draft to draft a quarterback, which they traditionally don't do anyway. He's so expensive that it's not really worth it to move off of him and then take the hit to bring in another quarterback that you would get on the trade market. Like, who are you going to acquire that's significantly better than Dak Prescott? So they're in this constant middle ground. They're in this purgatory with the quarterback position. Because I agree, Dak Prescott doesn't win the big games. That's what he's paid to do. Of course, he's paid to, get them to the playoffs, but then you're paid to win the big games, and he doesn't do that.
I got a question for you, though, Joy. Oftentimes you speak of why would you move off of a franchise quarterback, right? We talk about it in regards to the Washington Commanders. They moved off of Kirk Cousins, and since then they have been searching for a franchise quarterback. Though we all agree that Dak Prescott's not good enough to win a Super Bowl, he is a franchise quarterback. We can all establish that.
Yes.
Why would, or should, not would, because we don't think they will, why should the Cowboys move off of a franchise quarterback, given your philosophy of you don't move off of a franchise quarterback?
Well, what do you always say? The enemy of great is good? So they're good. They're never great. And part of that is because of what Dak Prescott's failures in the postseason. So you continue to run up against the same thing. You have this ceiling because he is the one that you count on to get you over it, and he hasn't been able to do it. And if he doesn't do it again this year with a team as talented as they have, it's going to feel like it's just Groundhog Day. So I see both sides of it. But I think the Cowboys are going to do what they always do, which is blame everybody else or try and come up with an excuse for why it happens. They don't ever get over that hump, but they've been doing the same thing forever. Like, I'm giving you Tony Romo's stats because when you talk about Tony Romo, what do you say?
I love Tony.
Tony did the same thing.
Yeah.
The teams might have been different. He might have to have done more, but you would think that Tony was getting them to the conference championship, playing in Super Bowls. This is the same existence that the Cowboys have been in for decades.
I just feel like Tony Romo wished he had a team like this, though, on offense and on defense, right? Yeah. And with Tony Romo, they wouldn't have no conservative offense. When we played them back in the day, we would say, listen, we just got to outscore them, right? Because all we need is, not outscore them. All we need is 1 stop, 2 stops, because we going to keep scoring. Defense is bad. And Tony, he got to keep scoring. He got to keep throwing. When you watch this team now, right, and I want to say this, and I'm trying to be respectful as possible. I'm trying. If the Cowboys had a Cooper Rush starting, if the Cowboys had a young rookie starting, they would give him the same type of playbook, same type of game plan. So when we talk about a franchise quarterback, we talking about a guy just managing a team that's talented, right? Think about this for a second. So why would I go out there and pay a guy $160 million if you're just going to have a conservative offense for him? You're scared for him to throw the ball. Every time they were down against the Cardinals, against the Niners, they want to run the ball. Think about this. Like, why are we not throwing it deep? Why are we so concerned? Why are we so nervous? So why not take a chance to go get a rookie quarterback? Why not? Why not?
But how far can you move up to get one when you're that good?
Second round, I don't know, second rounder, whatever it might be. There's been some good second rounds that
or
they
you
made.
could take the Chiefs' philosophy. Remember, they had Alex Smith. They were winning 12 games. They said, look, we're going to move up to number 10, I think 10 or 11, to draft Pat Mahomes. But to Joy's point, and I will say this, James, then please go, and then I'll take us to break. The last time the Cowboys spent a first two-day pick on a quarterback was Quincy Carter, I believe.
Quincy Carter.
2001 out of Georgia. So since Quincy Carter in 2001, Cowboys do not draft quarterbacks on the first 2 days of the draft.
Question for you two. Where do you guys...
Who want to go first?
I'll ask you first. Where do you guys rank Dak Prescott, like, on the quarterback tier? You know, like, you got the top of the top. Say you got Josh Allen, Patty Mahomes, whoever. Like, where do you guys rank? Is he a top 10? Is he top 15? Where do you rank him?
I would say third tier, 2-5. That's where I'm at. I think you got elites, you got patties, and, like, you got dudes who can touch eliteness.
So give me a couple dudes that you got in his category.
Okay, in Dak's category, Kirk Cousins, Derek Carr, this year, Baker Mayfield. This year, Baker Mayfield.
You love some Baker, boy.
Just this year, this year. This year, Baker Mayfield. And I would probably say...
Is Watson in that category?
Trevor Lawrence is in that category.
Okay.
This year, Watson is in that category. I would probably say those, just off the top of my head.
So, question, do you guys think you could win a Super Bowl with some of them quarterbacks if the roster's built the right way that you just named?
The only one I named is Trevor, that I think you could win a Super Bowl with playing how they're playing this year. Only one.
You?
I would put Dak underneath Kirk Cousins, right? I think Kirk's better than him, but they're similar, right?
Yep.
Gotcha.
But for some reason, I think Kirk could win with the Cowboys under these circumstances of, like, a solid, controlled game plan, really, really good line, really good running back, right? Really, really good defense.
Kirk is really bad.
But what I'm saying is that he don't have to press with this team, the Cowboys team. I feel like Kirk has to press. I mean, the Vikings ain't had, like, great defense, right? Their offensive weapons ain't that good. Well, the Cowboys, their team is really, really good.
And that's very good. And the reason why I say that is because I think that's where Jerry Jones is coming from. Like, you have these guys in those tiers that if they have a really good team around them, that they can get them to the Super Bowl. Are they going to carry a team and put a team on their back? Probably not.
But
if they got the right pieces around them.
It's about playing the way that you need to play in the biggest moments.
No doubt.
It's about not losing the game. It's about making the throws that you need to make in those big moments. So you don't necessarily have to be the most talented guy. We've seen guys that aren't that talented, that aren't franchise quarterbacks, that can take a team all the way there because they just don't make the mistakes.
Right.
They make the right decisions. They do that, and we haven't seen that from Dak. We want to believe it, but we've had many opportunities to see it, and he hasn't done it in the games that matter.
And that's the biggest thing to me, too, because when we talk about Tony Romo and Dak Prescott got the job because Tony was a turnover machine.
Tony got hurt.
Tony got hurt.
No, I know.
What? He got hurt, bro.
Dak came in playing at a high level, not turning the ball over. Tony Romo, as great as he was, as much as I love Tony, in big moments, he turned the football over.
Well, why? Because they want him.
It was a lot of crazy turnovers.
But what I'm saying is that when Tony had the keys, we gonna throw this ball.
Yeah. When
Dak came in there, whoa, we gonna run it. We gonna throw it.
But what I'm saying is now he's turning it over. So now
he's turning over. He's not even throwing the ball. You get what I'm saying? You turn the ball. They don't even want to throw the ball. And you turn the ball over.
Yeah, that's bad, man.
Come on, because back then Tony was throwing like 35, almost 40 times a game.
Tony was slinging that pill.
Subscribe here to get the latest from Speak, and go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.